Hello today, gang. I'm gonna be doing. I've been working on this RPG for about seriously for about 4 years now. I actually started it back in high school. It's and then I just put it away and forgot about it. And I'm going to just kind of make a quick video here about the basics. I'm not gonna go into anything too much in depth. I kind of got some stuff here written down in the background that I'm gonna go over. It's pretty much the basics of this RPG. It's a pen and paper, so it's not like Final Fantasy or anything like that. But I've put so much work into it. I mean, the rule book is 750 pages long. A little bit longer than that now. I've still been adding stuff, and now I'm starting to get into getting art done for the book. And so I've decided to finally go ahead and make this video. I mean, it's playable, but I don't really have like a campaign or anything done for it. But it tentatively named Avalon. It's based, on Britain lore, and if anybody remembers it from the 90s, a cartoon called Gargoyles. But it's based on the island of Avalon. It's a mystical island that can be reached from any body of water, said to be the final resting place of King Arthur. That's just Britain myth. Then Disney kind of expanded on the whole idea with the cartoon Gargoyles, and the season dealt with how Avalon, was the birthplace of all the monsters, all the gods. I'm going with that idea. So the island is huge. It has its own biomes, like desert, forest, jungle, swamp, mountains. So it has all that. But I'm kind of taking it a little bit farther. Basically, the game starts off, the mystery behind the whole campaign is that Oberon, the creator of Avalon, has been murdered somehow. Someone was strong enough to kill him, or did something that was able to kill him. Well, he was murdered, and the magical island is now kind of out of control, and it's drawing in land masses from many different time periods, including a modern day Chicago. So yeah, there are going to be guns in this game, and it can also draw in stuff from other dimensions. Like there's a steampunk city where dwarves and gnomes live. So there's going to be a steampunk aesthetic. I can't talk. So yeah, there's going to be guns and magic. The island has basically gone haywire, and since it goes to every body of water throughout time and throughout dimensions, so cities that are by water are starting to get pulled in to the island, and basically all hell's breaking loose. And it's pretty much up to you and your party to find out who murdered Oberon, and secondly, how to stop the magic that is consuming pretty much all time. Eventually, it's going to rip all these dimensions into Avalon, and it's doing it slowly. So at the point your characters start out at, it's been doing it for a while. So your characters are pretty aware of they're not exactly in Kansas anymore. So to go from the story into this, I've completely built this battle system from the ground up myself. I've taken ideas from several generations of RPGs, including, Might and Magic, EverQuest, Final Fantasy, Diablo, Jagged Alliance. If it's an RPG, I probably played it. And this is just going to be some general bullet points of the features in my RPG. So I will kind of go into depth in other videos, because I don't want this video to be hours long, going into depth in all of this. So there's going to be 14 schools of magic. Yes, there's a lot of magic in this game. There's aeromancy, geomancy, pyromancy, aquamancy. Those are pretty self-explanatory. So is necromancy. Belief is holy magic. Psionics is, mind. Shamanism is nature. Sinumancy is shape-shifting and, the art of manipulating other people's bodies. Primordial is just like it sounds, and there's Venomancy. I can't pronounce that very good, but that's like dealing with poison. Then there's Bacteromancy, which is dealing with disease. There's Enchantment, Transmutation, and Summoning. Now, additionally, there are fighting disciplines. Now, in other games, these would be just like some kind of passive feat or something like that gives you like a bonus. Like say, hey, martial arts. So in my game, songs, like in Dungeons and Dragons, songs are just copies of spells. Not in this game. Songs do something different in my game. They're pretty much constant buffs or constant damage, and they radiate outward from the bard. The bard's the only class that gets songs, unless you make your own class that has them. Dirty fighting, exactly like it sounds. There's a whole bunch of dirty fighting moves you can do. Martial arts, you can go freaking Super Saiyan if you want to with martial arts. Wrestling's pretty much about manipulating positions on the battlefield. So each level, there's 10 levels of fighting disciplines, and there's 11 levels of spells. So, and each level has 6 to 12 spells or attacks. So there's over 1,000 spells and attacks from all this right here, just this. So, other skills include desperation attacks. Think of limit breaks from Final Fantasy. Skills. These skills can be increased in their effectiveness using skill points like trade skills do. I haven't got the trade skills yet. So, passives. These provide bonuses in and out of combat and do not need to be activated and are usually permanent. Attacks, offensive and defensive maneuvers that are used solely in combat. And there's techniques. These moves are meant to be used in combat or can be used outside of combat, but do not specifically target enemies, generally. Racials, those are for races. We'll get to those in another video. Trade skills can be increased using skill points. Higher you get your skill with trade skills, the better stuff you can make. But we'll go into trade skill. The trade skills here are alchemy, potion making, and poison making, gunsmithing, guns, ammo, guns, ammo, and attachments for guns, tinkering, useful items, traps, explosives, blacksmithing, melee weapons and armor, tailoring, also weapons and armor, carpentry, weapons, armor, bows, and fletching, jewelcraft, rings, amulets, and gemstone cutting. Now, the shape of the gemstone in my game affects the power of the gem. Also, the quality of the gem, like a diamond is a lot better than a garnet, so to speak. So there's also smaller trade skills in the game, like mining, which help you support your gunsmithing and blacksmithing habit, which you can do like outside of combat, or you can do it in combat if you want to, but I wouldn't recommend it. Okay, now here's a big list of the 40 pre-built classes, and as I mentioned earlier, there is a system for creating your own class. You basically get to pick from a list of like a bunch of skills and stuff, and just I think you can get to pick 6 or 8. I can't remember exactly. It's been a while since I worked on that. So, but here are the classes, and I'm gonna go Aeromancer, Aquamancer, Assassin, Augment, Bard, Beast Lord, Blue Mage, Bounty Hunter, Brawler, Chemist, Cleric, Dragoon, Druid, Duelist, Enchanter, Geomancer, Marksman, Monk, Mystic, Necromancer, Ninja, Paladin, Pyromancer, Ranger, Rune Mage, Samurai, Siege Engineer, Scout, Sorcerer, Shadow Knight, Swashbuckler, Summoner, Spellblade, Tactician, Thief, Trapper, Transmutator, Warlock, Warrior, Wizard. And all those classes have their own unique abilities that you don't really get with a create a class, but the abilities are unlocked as you level up. And on top of all the other stuff you could learn along the way. Now that is kind of a unique thing I'm doing, at least I feel like it is, but I stole it from Might and Magic, where you should be more excited to get into a town than you are leveling up. Leveling up means you're just getting a little bit stronger. But going to a town means you can find a trainer to learn new stuff. Like, spells are bought from guilds for gold. Attacks can be learned from trainers at arenas for gold. It's not, you don't get them when you level up. You just, if you have enough gold, you go buy it, learn it, put it to use. It's pretty simple. Now there are masteries too, where you can actually increase the effectiveness of the attacks and stuff like that. And every spell in the game can also be leveled up. So like you can have like Water Arrow 12, that's way more powerful than regular Water Arrow. But you have to pay the gold to level it up every time. I call it empowering. But anyway, there's 12 different deities to worship. I'm not going to get into these. I'll do these in another video. The deities can be prayed to and will sometimes offer aid in combat. Now, the chance is pretty slim of your prayer actually working. I mean, you basically roll 1d100, and if it lands 95 to 100, the deity will come and attack and basically do like a big summon attack on them for one hit. Sometimes some of them actually alter the battlefield when they do it. But yeah, it's a pretty slim chance. Even though there is, on the belief magic tree, there is a spell you can learn. It's a level 11 that will give you a 100% chance on prayer. But you can only use it like once a day or something like that. And by once a day, I mean once a session. Okay, here's the races that are available to play. Humans, dwarves, fae, which are fairies, equine, elf, halfling, feline, Ratoga, which is kind of a rat mouse thing. I got that from EverQuest. Naga, demon, goblin, draconic, lizard folk, orc, null, satyr, dark elf, celestial, which are angels, not like gods or anything, they're just angels. Gnomes, troll, centaur, minotaur, wood elf, nymph, avian, gargoyle, kelpie, which are fish, swamp elf, which are frogs, got those from EverQuest, mind flare, and arachne, which is half elf, half spider. All these races have their own racial traits that they start with, and as they grow, level up, you get older, you'll gain new racial traits every 5 levels and up until level 40. Some of them you have to choose between, like, if you have a naga, you can either be a venomous naga or you can be a constrictor. You pick that when you first make your character. Now, depending on which one you pick, depend on what racial traits you gain every level. Like level 5, I think, you can either do tail whip, which is for a constrictor, or you can spit venom, which is for a venomous one. Like I said, the system is percentile based, meaning you roll a 100-sided die, which you obviously won't have. You'll have it like a dice machine if this was to ever be sold. On to hit rolls, which also figures your hit die for critical, crippling blows, and fatal. There is no level cap. There's 3 planes of movement. This is really made for a group of 4 to 6 players. The combat is AP driven, meaning you get a pool of ability points at the beginning of the combat, and every action you do in combat or out of combat takes up AP, which allows for multiple attacks per turn. Like you can save up I think, double your AP if you don't do nothing for another round. Your AP stacks up over time, and then you can do a lot. There will be a GM guide, which I have not started on yet, and there will be a bestiary book, which I also have not started on yet. Like I said, this thing's big. It's 750 pages. That's with everything, with all the spells, abilities, attacks, blah blah blah. Like the actual rules for the game are like only like 20 something pages. I will also be trying to do most of the art. I started drawing again, so this is just basically a very quick overview video that I wanted to do. I've been meaning to do it for a while now, and I just like kind of got back into work on this after I took a break. So I will be releasing other videos kind of weekly, putting stuff I did not cover in here in it, which I will be doing it by like races, deities, and all this stuff into broken up videos, so it's not all one long ass video. But anyways, thanks for watching.